Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening, people. Good evening. This is Spirit Journey. How are we today? Yes, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, where you are on this planet. Yes, I had a great day. And my little boy Lavender, he's doing okay today. We took it easy, did some laundry, and just relaxed and just finishing dinner. My mind was just racing not too long ago. Sometimes, like when I'm alone in my room, like a thought comes to my mind, and you ever argue with yourself? You would like you're thinking out loud, I should say. You're thinking out loud, and I was reminded about by this situation that happened not too long ago. And I entitled this live stream, Why Are We Poor in the Third World? Oh, why are we what? Excuse me, why are we poor in the third world? I know that's a hidden statement, and the word third world may seem pejorative to certain people. But it is what it is, and it's a term that's understood, and that's all what it's about, using terminology that people know in general who it's referring to. But whatever where you are, whatever who you are valuable. You are a valuable human being. Or you're first, second, or third world, or if there's a fourth or fifth, who cares? You're a human being, and we all want to do well in life. Well, I was thinking about this incident that happened, and people, whether the environment that you live in, whether you are perceived to be rich, you are not to feel ashamed. Don't feel ashamed, and don't let people make you feel ashamed for being successful, to be ashamed to have food on your table, to feel ashamed that uh, you have clean clothes, to be ashamed that you are healthy. Don't be ashamed of God's blessing or the Creator's blessing upon your life, you know. And I just want to say that up front. Don't be ashamed. And if you're so-called poor, don't be ashamed either. You are who you are. You have what you have. But like they say in the scripture, in all things, give thanks. Give thanks because there's always somebody who's worse off. And humans are really sturdy people. You really don't need a lot to survive. You just need the essential. Okay. So in really anything that you have, is a blessing. So with that all being said, I was um I was surprised at a situation, and that people could be curious about people who they don't know. But I was surprised when I was judged, and it was by a child, because they were curious, about my living situation. What I learned from the situation is it's nobody's concern or business who you live with, who you don't live with, your living circumstances, because people may use it against you. And that's what I learned from this situation. Yes, you have um, even young people who are going to judge you. And I'm thinking, how dare a child judge me and disrespecting me based on what they assume? And it was something, and I think it was like a trigger in me. Um, this incident happened a couple of weeks ago, but it just popped in my mind, and I'm alone, you just by myself, and my thoughts went very diverse. And so I just want to share with you my opinion, it's just my opinion about the poor. And what is poor? What is poor and what is poverty? I think that should be explained. What is it? It seems like we all seem to know what poverty is or what it is to be poor. We all have a concept in our mind what it is. What is it? Okay, let me see if I could define it. In my opinion, poor or poverty is when the resources that you have is not fulfilling all your needs. But there's also a mental poverty that no matter what you have, you're not satisfied with what you have, and you have a fear of lack, a fear of loss. So even what you have, you don't enjoy, and it's as if you have nothing on your plate. I would call that being poor or poverty. Um, what can cause poverty? Well, when I was thinking about the person judging me, as see that I believe that he was fishing for an answer. He was fishing for my living lifestyle. And when it was perceived by him that I must live in a big place by myself, and how dare I have that type of living situation, and that the others that are born here don't have that luxury. That is a very, very foolish thing to uh, put on someone who's old enough to be a grandmother. You know, See, that is a poor mentality to see a senior person, a senior citizen, and having contempt for a senior citizen to live in a situation that is their business, but the juvenile is getting emotionally um, bent out of place for a thought and then a judgment upon me. You know, it's mentalities like that, in my opinion, that could put you in a mindset to stay poor or to feel like you're in a state of poverty when you cannot enjoy, be happy for someone else's success. And you, as a juvenile, to judge someone who you may perceive of having more, whether correct or incorrect, it doesn't matter. The matters is that a judgment was made on someone. You have not earned your, you to say these things to someone. You have not earned your keep. If you're being taken care of by your parents, your grandma, auntie, or whatever, and you've never worked a day of your life, you've never earned money a day of your life, you have no right to judge an adult what they have or don't have, especially when you're being taken care of and you're a minor. See, that is someone that's setting themselves up because they're probably listening and watching others of what they have, or how did they get what they have, and how dare they have what they have. Rather, these young people should not be focused on what the senior citizens have, but what they themselves don't have. What do they have? They need an education. Rather than focus on what someone else has, they need to focus on themselves. They need to look in the mirror and say, hey, I come from I have a family of X amount, and we all live in this small place. How can I change that for my family? See, that is a wealthy thought life, because you're thinking. So you're born into something. You cannot help what you're born into, but you could help what you could move into as time goes on. So, number one, don't question about what other people have, but you can use what someone has. You could think about what someone allegedly has, and you ask yourself, how can I obtain the same? Or how could I obtain X, Y, and Z in my life? That is a good question. That's a good thing to do. Ask yourself a question. What could I do to get out of my situation? What could I do to have a type of living quarters that is appealing to me? And if I get it, how to maintain. You need to know how to maintain, because there are people who win lottery tickets. They get the money, they get the millions of dollars, and then they lose it all, and in fact can become into debt. So what they had, they lost more than what they received. They lost more than what you received. And that is poverty. When you lose more than you received. Yeah, because of foolish spending. Yeah, ask yourself. There was something else that someone shared with me. And again, I am not an expert about life, but I have experiences, and I have had people that shared with me certain things. And so that's all I share. But what I can say confidently is that I am grateful for what I have, and I live within my means. How many people How many people do you know live within their means? They want to live above their means so that people would think they are rich or have more than they really do. You have many people who live on their credit cards. They go on vacations. They buy themselves clothes and cars, and they just put it all on their credit card. They might have multiple credit cards, and they may be to pay it off in one shot at the end of the month. And so it's compounded interest on that, right? And so they become always in that they are actually a slave. They're a slave to the credit card. It controls them. It owns them. Their credit card owns them because they are in debt. And when you are a debtor, you become a slave to the debt, the people who loaned you the money. Yes. So yeah, how it go? The debtor and then the dettee, wherever it goes. But yeah, how many of you know of people who spend more than they have? They go to these fancy stores and they get their cards out, and they spend their money on the shoes, the clothes, because they want to feel like they are somebody with what they, through the purchases. Some people may buy homes because it's considered prestigious. And they may not even be paying their mortgage. So their family could be helping them pay their mortgage. Yet some families They invest in their kids and they buy their kids a house so that they can brag to their friends that my child lives in this neighborhood. Yet you have people like that, but they may not be able to maintain it. See, that's another secret about why we're poor, that you live above your means. You are living above your means. You make $100 a week, but you're spending 300. That is a poor mindset. The person who does that, who lives like that, is a poor person because they don't respect what they have. They're telling the universe, I deserve more. I need to live like someone who makes 300 a week rather than 100. So they don't respect what they have. They do not respect what they have. And they're forcing the universe through these channels of these credit cards. Oops, sorry. Sorry about that. I had to tap on my phone. Yeah, so they're living a lie, and that which they think is afforded them the lifestyle is actually becoming their master. Those cards are their master, and they are the slave because they can never pay it off. They are forever a slave. That is a big, big problem. A big problem, people. So, what else now? So we see that the poor, too much interested in looking outward on what they think others people have, and they don't know that a lot of times those people that they're watching and being jealous about where they live or how they dress and how do they have a big place to live in and they don't have a big family. Okay, they're focused on the wrong thing. So, what else? What else? Yeah, they need to educate themselves. A lot of people are poor in the third world because um, they may not have the education necessary to get to the next level. Do poor people, the true sense of the word of poor people or poverty, do they think of ways that they are to improve themselves? Or do they keep pointing at others? And they think their problem is solely because of someone's race. And that might be in part, but is that really? Are they sitting around like you go to some areas? I've been in areas, and the dudes are just sitting there, the pack of dudes, and they're just sitting there, and they're doing absolutely nothing. You notice people who are industrious, they're always busy, 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 busy. They're thinking ways to make money. They keep their hands busy. So this young child that's questioned as senior citizen, their job as a youth is to educate themselves. They better learn how to read, write, math, general math, and hopefully they learn a skill that they could possibly uh, earn a living by. They need that. They don't need to be pointing at other people. They need to invest themselves, invest in time to educate themselves. A lot of times, some people that might go around. I saw this lady once. She was a real fat lady, and they had a baby, carrying a baby. And I felt that they were weaponizing the baby to win sympathy from a merchant. And the merchant did hand the lady a coin. It was worth pennies. And she gave a dirty look like, is this all you're going to give me? So, the other problem I think why some people in the third world are poor is that they don't appreciate it when someone does give them something, whether it's food, a place to live, some money, whatever, or even a smile. They don't appreciate what they have been given. If you can appreciate even the smallest thing, again, before you ask that person for whatever you asked them, you didn't have that. So here you have more and you didn't appreciate it. So if you expect to be given more, you should be grateful for what you have and say, thank you. Thank you. I bet if that person would have said thank you, maybe the person would have reconsidered and given them more money. Or if they came back on another day, begging, they might say, I'll help this person out. They were very grateful. Be grateful, people, for what you have or what someone gave you. That person could have said something very horrible to you. And, in my opinion, when an obese person is begging for money, I just feel that it's a spirit of gluttony. So that they don't appreciate what they have. They always want more, 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 more. And that's why a lot of people are maybe become obese. They don't know when to stop eating. They might be very idle, not doing any physical work. And the results is being overweight like that. And then to use a child as a weapon to try to um, make people feel sorry for you to get money. Then you say that you're not intelligent enough to make money on your own and you're using your kid as a prop. That is a no-no. That is a no-no. No, that is a no-no in my opinion. And that's, I think, almost putting a curse on you. You're telling yourself you can't do it on your own and you're using a baby to manipulate somebody rather than saying, hey, I'm in this situation. What can I do to better my living situation to help me and my child? Okay, so that's another reason why I think why there's a lot of poverty in third world. You don't appreciate what is given to you, and you don't think of ways how to. You're not asking yourself the right questions. Hey, this person lives in this house, and I need more room in my own house. How can I get to that level and build a house for my family? Okay. Another thing I was told growing up, uh, I was told at Harvard University, they were wondering why a lot of people who go to Harvard University, they seem to uh, get jobs that pay well. And it was discovered that people who go to that school and others like it, that they write down early in life what they want. They all wrote down what they wanted in life. And those who write down what they want in life, they tend to get what they have. And I guess it serves as a focal point to remind themselves what they want in life. So that young child should be saying to themselves, hey, what do I really want in life? Well, let me write it down as a daily reminder to be focused on my goals in life. My goal should not be, if my goal was just looking at my neighbor and seeing what they have, and showing contempt, that they're not going to go anywhere in life. They're not going to go anywhere. Yeah, so you better write down what you want in life as a daily reminder to keep you on track. Next thing, um, do they ever ask themselves, hey, sometimes it's to study successful people. Like, let's say someone writes down what they want in life. Maybe the next step is to ask themselves, hey, let me find someone who wants to do the same thing I mean, someone who's doing something that I want to do. Let me study how they became that. See, that's another thing. Get information. Get information on how someone else did it. So as to save you time. It could save you time if you study how someone else did what you want to do. So rather than again judging a senior citizen, getting shown contempt, and you never work a day in your life, and you criticize them, start asking yourself, hey, let me study the wealthy. Let me study how they make money. You don't make money. See, I used to watch this show, The Gilligan's Island, and they had a millionaire on that show, a character that was to be a millionaire. And in hindsight, when I think back on that show, the millionaire, remember he would do foolish things like he would cut one blade of grass with a small scissor and then buff it. That man would be there all day. You think if he had a business, he'd give someone just a little scissor and just cut one blade of grass at a time? He'll become a pauper. See, back then, that the movie came out, I think, in the 1960s, early 60s, I think. I'm not sure, but I think it was sometime in the early 60s. And they had different characters, and they threw in there someone who's supposed to be a millionaire and his wife. And they showed him actually as a slothful man who just wanted leisure, leisure, leisure. You know, you're just sitting on your butt. That is not going to make you money. I don't think so. I don't think, and especially using a scissor to cut, but you got to get, your business. You can't be slothful. And it seems like people who are truly rich, they're always thinking ahead. They seem to always think ahead. The next step. It's amazing. They think the next step about a situation, always planning ahead. They're never idle. They're never idle. So that's something I think very good to think of. The true rich are never idle. They make their time valuable to better themselves, better the situation. You know, it's always about self improvement. And they seem to be goal oriented. That's the next thing, goal oriented. What is that young boy's goal in life? Is it just to walk and look at Muzungus and judging them what they think they have or don't have? What is it, right? What are their goals? If their goal is just to study other people, to judge people, analyze them, nothing wrong analyzing and studying how to get to that level. Is it in their calling? The other thing to ask, what is their calling? See, I might say, hey, I want what so and so has. But is that your calling in life? Let's say you want to be a basketball player, but let's say you're a midget. You're only like 2 feet tall, and you want to be with these people who are 7 feet tall. Is that your calling? Is that your calling? Is it? Just because what I'm doing does that mean that it's your calling. There's nothing wrong with certain things, but is it your calling? This guy might be studying somebody. Oh, I want to be with what that lady has. Well, maybe it's not your calling. Maybe that person did an occupation and it was in their calling. They did it well, but you may not do it well because it's not your calling, and you may not even enjoy it. Yeah, so that's another thing. Um, the money that they make, like I did mention about the overweight lady who showed contempt for what she did receive. She was ungrateful. Um, yeah, don't. I'm not sure if I mentioned. Don't don't spend what you don't have. Do not spend what you don't have. Don't spend it. If you make $100, don't spend $200. You will be in the poorhouse. You will be in the poorhouse. Don't do it. Don't do that. That is Povertyville. I learned that lesson early in life. Yeah, the people who live off of their credit cards. Yeah, I did mention about that. Yeah. See, these are all very important things. Very, very important things. Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes in my life. And, but I would say the biggest thing is that be content with what you do have and save, save what you make. Live in your means and save. Some people they get. I know a lady. She was a lawyer in New York City. And yeah, some people they just spend, 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 spend. And I remember she was telling me that she wants to buy this high end, this high end watchmaker, a petite, I think it was a Petite Philippe watch. And I thought that was I was like, what? Because why I said what? She said, oh, I'm thinking about, buying this for my son. She had a teenager for a son, and she wanted to buy the watch for him as an investment. But this person did not respect time. Why buy a watch, an ultra high end watch, a Petite Philippe watch, if you don't even respect time? It's foolishness. Why are there why the poor in the third why are was it why are we poor in the third world? Yeah, we don't respect time. We do not respect time. We don't respect time. Time is money, right? Haven't you ever heard of that? Time is money. And when you're dealing with people who are ultra who have multi millions, well, and now billions of dollars, that time is important to them because they're always busy looking ahead what to do next, you know, to make more money or to try to keep their money. She didn't respect time. So I thought to myself, why, if you don't respect time and your kid don't even know anything about time, why would you invest in that type of money for them? And they don't respect time. That is such a big one. That is such a big one, people. Do you respect time? You go in these third world places and you tell them, oh, come start the job at uh 9 o'clock, nine in the morning. They don't get there at 9. They arrive when they feel like coming, if they do come. They do not respect time, and they are the living poor. Getting angry. Oops. Sorry. Sorry. Getting angry at everybody for the situation. Yeah, you notice with the rich, they respect time. You're 1 minute late to a meeting, and you're going to offend them, and they're going to say you don't respect my time. You don't respect my time, and so they're going to leave. It's like, I'm not going to waste my time doing business with this person because they don't respect me, and I'm not going to waste my time on them. And they leave, and they never want to do business with them again. I don't blame them. Yeah, I'm particular about time. Yeah, you better not be late. You better not be a fucking minute late. Yeah. So, to these people out here who just sit around all day, and you tell them, please come by to start X, Y, and Z at such and such time. Do they come? No, they do not come. They are always late. So that's another characteristic that poor people have. They don't respect time, and they're never on time. Okay, that's a big one, boy. Boy, I'm on the roll here. Yeah, it is a horrible feeling when they want. Yeah, I've been in situations, and didn't matter whether they were young, middle age, or older. It was a common theme. No call, no show. Honey, how do you expect to make money? You think those people, those muzungos, are going to ask you back? Do you think they're going to have you come back to their house to do a job, and you don't even have the decency to call that you cannot make it? Yeah, I'm not saying to even call back the next day. He had some assholes who call, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't make it. Yeah, you were supposed to be here two days ago. And you're just calling now? See, that is the mindset of a fucking poor third worlder. They don't respect time. They don't respect time. Yeah, no call, no show. That's what a lot of poor people have in common. They don't they don't respect other people's time. And no call, no show. You're gonna have a business, you better come when you're supposed to come. And if you cannot come, you call ahead of time and let them know, hey, I cannot make it on such and such day. Something came up. I'd like to, if you would like to reschedule. Give them enough notice. You know, if you don't call and you don't show up, that is showing such disrespect. Biggie, just look at it. Go to these places. Hey, come by, and they don't come up. They don't come. Yeah, what else? What else do I notice? What else do I notice? Cleanliness. Cleanliness. You notice the rich live in cleaner quarters, living quarters, or neighborhoods. You go to a poor neighborhood, it's filthy. The poor live in filth. And now you can have a so-called rich person, could be a slob, but they hire somebody to do it for them. Yeah, cleanliness is next to godliness. That's what I believe. You live in filth. Maybe you have a filthy mind, a filthy mindset. You don't love yourself. and you attract negative entities to you. Now, true that a wealthy person could attract negative entities too, but at least they know how to cover it up, right? So these people, they know how to, if you're going to do something, you better know how to cover it up. Yeah. Sorry, the phone went dark again. Yeah, you better know how to cover up something. At least hire someone else to do it. Yeah, yeah, you better live a clean life. Clean, because it also shows about organization. People who are clean, are orderly, neat. They have a sense of, um, their mind can think clearer. It's not scrambled. A poor person has a scrambled mind. Someone who is neat could maybe think with less distractions than the sloppy person, the dirty person. Okay. Yeah, so make sure you clean. You clean yourself. Clean yourself daily. Daily. Clean. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed. Bathing. You better bathe. You expect to do business with someone and you don't bathe. That's another very popular thing. That the lack of cleanliness. Cleanliness where they live, how they dress, and they don't bathe their children. I've seen kids it was shocking. Now there's kids, who play in the ground or whatever, they're just earthy. But it's a difference between your clothes are dirty because you're playing on the ground. But when you're just filthy because you didn't bathe, you got crust in your nose, your hair is matted, etc., etc. That is a problem when a parent does not bathe their kid. But when you're showing that you bathe your kid, you're showing a discipline about yourself, personal discipline to take care of yourself. Or if you don't want to hire someone who can bathe you. You know what I mean? You know, um, but you need to keep, because you are the king and queen of your domain, right? And when you show contempt for your own body, why should people want to do business with you? It's just gonna be reflected in your business, you know. Have clean hands also. Cleanliness, clean hands shows a clean heart usually, right? Or it can, not always, but you know, clean hands. They're touching the items. Let's say it's food. You show contempt for people because you can contaminate them with your filthy hands. You know, this is important. Cleanliness to godliness, and it's also showing respect for yourself. And if you don't respect yourself, how are other people that you want to try to do business with? Why should they do business with you? You don't love yourself, so why should they love and respect you? Right? Right? Yeah. Clean yourself. Love yourself. Have a clean business. Yeah. How do they keep you? Yeah, I'm just also reminded about. Yeah, I hope people can hear me when I'm talking about. I see that the counter would get a number on and then it disappear. Yes, yes, listener. Please let me know if you can hear. Just give me a like type of one down that if you can hear properly. Let me know what's going on. Something seems to be going on. I hope the audio is working properly. Okay. Yeah, what was I just saying now? Yeah, I knew a woman. Yeah, what I notice about why they're poor in the third world, and it's also about cleanliness. This person that had was making food, some desserts or something, and I went to visit and only went once, and I never went back again. There were bugs. The place it had roaches, and the roach. Oops, sorry. Uh oh. Oh, sorry. Oh shit. Oh god, I just did something. Oh, I just wait a minute. I just okay. Sorry about that. I almost lost the transmission here. Sorry. Okay, I met someone. They were um they had a business, a bakery, and I spotted this a bug crawling in the case where the desserts were. So I discreetly said, "Hey," and I pointed. I didn't want someone else that was standing nearby to hear what I was saying. I was trying to be discreet. It was first time visiting there, and I didn't want the person to get embarrassed, but for them to resolve the issue. And then as time went on, more and more critters came out all throughout that case. It's like all of a sudden it all started coming out, and the floor. It was like an invasion. And I'm showing her, hey, mommy, look, come on. And she's pretending as if she doesn't know where these things came from. She's acting like this is the first time this happened. I realize this person does not keep a clean business. People, people. Don't expect you're going to save customers when you have bugs crawling all over the place and going in the food. That is a no. Yeah, that is a no. You get things to try to cover. They have like you can make like a little net. We could uh like you have like these mosquito nets. You could create something and you put it over the cake or pie. It's like something that goes over it, and so you can see through it. You could put all those glass things, and you put the glass on top of it. To shield it from critters. At least do that. Yeah. In fact, what she did, I was so disgusted in her, and she was an older person. She was in her 70s, and then she said, "Oh well, I want oh please stay." Because I said, "Oh, maybe I'm distracting you. Let me just go. You're busy here. Let me just go." "Oh no. I want please stay. Anyway, I want to drop this dessert off with this client. I want to. Oh, I want you to keep me company. I want to drive you in the car. Blah blah blah." Honey, I after seeing all those bugs, I did not want to even be in her car because I'd be afraid what might jump out in that car on me. I didn't trust. I didn't trust her. It's just something about that moment, and that it was such an infestation of bugs on that counter and infecting the dessert. I wouldn't want to eat it. I wouldn't want to eat it. And so what I did, I mean, I left. I said, I'm gonna leave. Because she had dropped this glass on the floor, and I said she was really getting distracted and embarrassed, and it's obvious the situation she knew about, and she's covering it up rather than dealing with the situation. Why are we poor in the third world? Because we don't care about our customers, and that you just think you could give them slop and that they'll eat it. Well, that's something about the poor because the poor don't have a lot of selection. and they feel dependent on what is there. The poor cannot really negotiate variety, but rich people can, because if they don't like the service, they don't like the food, they'll stop going and they'll go somewhere else. So that's another thing that I notice about the poor. Why are we poor in the third world? Um, we don't respect the customers to provide them cleanliness of food and service. And when they see that there's a problem, they don't try to resolve it, and hoping that you don't notice, okay, or that, hey, uh, you don't have a choice in the matter. I'm the only store here, so F you. You better take it or leave it. Yeah, see, they don't consider other people. Yeah, they don't consider. So that's another reason why they well that why they're poor. Um, what else? What other things did I learn from my experiences? Um, oh well, this is enough. I mean, about what's happening. You know. Oh, think of ways to find out what your clients like. Find out what they like and supply that. Why offer something that they're not even interested in? You know, find out what they like. You're going to study. I mean, if you're going to be studying Mzungus or whatever about why they have what they have, find out what these Mzungus want. Find out and supply that need. Do these third world people try to find out what the rich like, or what they want, or what they need? Supply that need, and you'll have people come to your business. But no, they want to judge others. They want to blame race. They want to blame religion. They want to blame everything but themselves many times, many times. And that little boy that is judging what a senior citizen has, okay? You're going to judge a person. You better study these people and find out, hey, what do they do to achieve what you think you want? Yeah, yeah. These are just some of the things for poverty. Um, yeah, I did mention about the like write something, like what the goals are and achieve it. Yeah, that is such a biggie. I mean that really serves like a magnet. Yeah. So these are some of the things that I can think about as I was, just thinking about that child and the judgment call, and they're wasting their time. Poor people waste time. And oh, another thing, you know, why are we poor in the third world? What do parents in these third world, what do they teach their children? Do they teach, you got to teach them certain ethics, because it sets a pattern of behavior, it sets up, you know, um, a right mindset. Do you have the right mindset to have a business? A mindset. What was that? Now, there was something else I was going to say. Yeah. Oh, um, I, I used to see in movies. I used to watch. Go to the movies. You notice in the movies when they show Africa or some other so-called third world, don't you notice that they always, like, you have the little safari bus or something with the tourists in it, and you see all these little black kids running for that little bus, running, 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 waving, 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 waving. A lot of these families of those kids, poor kids running after a tourist bus, you know what these parents are teaching their kids? right after the bus, so they'll throw money or candy or something or peanuts at you. You're teaching your children, especially your boys, because when you see those trucks, it's usually boys. You see little boys doing that. And their parents probably teach them, hey, run out to the Muzungu, run after the bus, and they might throw things at you, or hopefully money. Okay? Rather than teaching your kid to waste his time uh, chasing after a bus, you should teach your kids how to go to the library and teach themselves how to read and write. Learn the geography, learn foreign languages, but not running after a fucking bus. Like you're teaching your children to act like a fucking monkey. That's why a lot of them are poor in the third world, because the parents, excuse me, the parents or the relatives, sorry, when they teach their kids the wrong thing. They waste all the time, all this energy it take to run after that bus, hoping they get to suck a piece of candy or get some money or fucking peanuts like a monkey. And so you're teaching your kids that to not have respect for themselves, and you're teaching these foreigners or tourists that you don't value integrity for your children, and they're not going to respect you. They don't respect you. You don't respect your kids. You're not man or woman enough to go get a job or get extra. You go run for the fucking bus. You go run for that bus. Don't have those little kids run for that bus. I could respect I could respect an adult running to get some peanuts from those tourists. Don't have your little kids. You know that they can kidnap your kids and sell your children? Hello? Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, they can steal your children. But a lot of them, they just don't care. They don't care about their children. They become so short sighted, some of these people in the third world. They sell their kids, a lot of these poor people. They sell their children for crumbs. So you don't know your value. So even though when you sell your kids, you just get pennies for your children and you don't even know the value to place on that kid. It's just, you think about just that day's bread. You're going to sell something, you better sell it for a significant amount that lasts you for a year or something like that. But no, just for a bowl of soup. Yep, you sell yourself short. That's another thing. Why are we poor in the third world? Because you sell yourself short. You sell yourself short. And you don't seem to get it. You don't seem to get it. You sell yourself short. So you bet people watch your kids, oh, you're nobody. You think your children are nobody. And so your nation's gonna, how you treat your kids is a reflection of the society you live in. So you're saying you don't value yourself, you don't value your children. So you have a valueless nation or tribe or whatever. Know your value. Know your value. Don't sell yourself short. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's embarrassing. Like at first I didn't realize. I thought they were just being friendly. And then it dawned on me. They're chasing the bus, the tour bus, because they want money or something from them. They're hoping that they'll be given something from them. Don't expect someone to hand you anything. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. That you're wasting your energy. Poor people waste time. That's what I already said. They don't respect time. They didn't respect her. So that lady with the watch for show or as an investment, why invest in something that you don't even respect? Time should be respected, you know. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, so see, there's some of the things that I realize. And I'm no expert. I'm no expert at all of these things. But as I get older in life, I start to see the mistakes that I've made in life. And some things I learned and I respect certain things and I'm finally getting ahead. You do have so-called rich people. You have people who make large sums of money, but they waste it all by living above their means. Or they go into debt because, let's say they do drugs. That would put you in a poorhouse big time. Yeah, that's another thing about the poor. I notice in poor neighborhoods, they always have liquor stores available. That's another thing. They have liquor stores available. During the pandemic in 2020, the booze places, the liquor stores were always open. The government didn't say that they can close. The government said they can stay open. Look at that. Yeah, they want to put you in the poorhouse. They set up these liquor stores in poor neighborhoods to get them dependent because they know they get depressed. And then what do a lot of guys do when they get depressed? They go get booze and to forget their problems. But boozing up, for one thing, that alcohol's expensive. So they're buying something that's not of value to their need. So poor people oftentimes buy things not of value to their needs. They'll buy alcohol, cigarettes, and that will plunder your resources. That will plunder your resources. Don't you dare do that. Honey, if you're not making sufficient income, don't put yourself in more debt by buying something that's not going to help you. By being a boozer or cigarettes, man, that will throw you big time in poverty. Yeah, and you find them all throughout those poor neighborhoods in America and in the third world, everywhere on this planet. Don't even participate in it. It's not worth it. It's not worth your time. Your time and money is valuable. And when you're boozing and using cigarettes, it doesn't add to your life even. It doesn't. It can give you cancer and it can give you cirrhosis of the liver. Please don't do that. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's another big one. Yeah, I noticed that they seem to be larger. In the third world, the place where they get alcohol, it tends to be large. Yeah, yeah. Medicine. True medicine. I talk about pharmaceuticals, but true medicines. You know, the third world, many of them are chasing after one world medicine because they think it's more important, more valuable. But the local medicine is probably better. There are people who die every year in the thousands because of pharmaceuticals. So you don't value again your culture. Again, they're not valuing your culture. That's another problem about the third world. They don't value the culture. Their medicines, their true medicines of healing. They discarded that and they're embracing pharmaceuticals, and that will put you in the poorhouse. Yeah, they get you sicker, these pharmaceuticals, you know. You keep taking it over time, and you wonder why you're not getting better, And it costs money. Yeah, learn your own medicine. Learn your own medicine. And you know what else? You know, uh, cook your own food. That's another thing. Cook your own food. I remember back in America, I lived in New York City, and you had the new arrivals from the Caribbean. And in the Caribbean, I used to also live in the Caribbean. The Caribbean, they they bring their food to work. They get their peas and rice, and they got some meat in there, right? And they put it in this plastic container. And every day they bring their food to for lunch. Well, in America, I noticed uh, people, and unfortunately, I was being self-conscious too. I said, "Oh, I don't want to bring my lunch." I felt self-conscious because I felt people were judging my lunch. But wonder what these newer immigrants from the West Indies, they save their money. They can't afford the money. I mean, the stores. Um, sorry, they can't afford the food in those delis. It's expensive, so they saved money. They brought they brought from home lunch, their own lunch, and so they saved money. You know, so yeah, what could make people poor in the third world? Well, they may try to eat in places they can't really afford. To do it all the time, yeah, that make you pauper. Yeah, that would, yeah, I think about my life. Yeah, yeah, I mean, some of the place, oh, it's unreal, unreal. It's like, it's like over $10 now, just for basic lunch. Oh yeah. I don't know what it's like now, but yeah, yeah, eating out is expensive. Eating out is expensive. Yeah. Don't eat out so much. Bring your own food to work. Bring your own food to work. Yeah, that would save you a lot of money. Tremendous a lot. Yeah. Uh, let's see what else. Yeah, I think that's the essential things, you know. Um, yeah, we walk in life, we have ideas about others. And a lot of things aren't really real that you think, and I include myself, that you start to think that something is better than something else. And you realize people really are the same. People really are the same. Yeah, be happy with what you have. Respect what you have. And yeah, look ahead. Yeah, walk in Thanksgiving. I think that's so important. You walk around, again, you see people, they're always angry and miserable, right? You go in these poor, sometimes they're not grateful what they have. They're angry. They're angry. And they're watching some people. Yeah, I was thinking about the situation. An indigenous people, and then you get a newcomer, let's say a colonial power. And that native might be very quiet for a season. It might be quiet for a season, okay? But they're waiting for your weakness. And one day they might come after you. Yeah? Yeah, people quiet for a reason. They're quiet enough because they want to continue getting what they are getting. But it's for a time and season until they get fed up and they come after you. And that's what happened in Algeria and Persia. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Persia. Wow. Yeah. So it just gets me thinking. Whether something is worth staying. Cause see, people might be quiet now. And like that young boy thinking, contemptuous that someone may live in a big, splendid home and it's just one person. And it angered him. But just imagine, you think when that boy becomes old enough, let's say in his 30s, people here in Africa, the bigger the better. And if they can afford a mansion, they will move in it, even if they just have themselves. Yeah, that's how it is. Big cars, big homes, you know, that's what they want. And when you get old enough and you save your money, you get a good job or you create a business, you too would probably want to live in a spectacular house. So I hope people like this, these young people here, I hope they get this, hear this video. And why are we poor in the third world? Well, these are just some of the things that some of the things that I noticed. Some of the things, the principles, live within your means. I would say that's a biggie. Live within your means. I know I said that already, but it's so important. Live within your means. Yeah, there was the last thing I want to talk about, a new topic. New topic, I see it's already 1 hour and 11 minutes. About hair products. Products that are designed for Black people. Yeah, I was just watching this YouTuber I haven't really seen in a while. And she reminded me when I was listening to the video about hair products, hair straighteners, hair relaxers. Yeah, I heard this a couple of years ago, not too long ago, that these products, hair products, the hair relaxers in particular, caused tumors. And I had a giant one. Yeah, briefly in my life, I did relax my hair. Yeah, in New York in the early 80s, it was very popular for Black people to straighten their hair. And I found this place, and I think I did it for about 2 years. Um, and then I remember the 1990s, again, I think I did it for 2 years again. And then I would shave my hair. Yeah, I did a lot. Shave my hair off and start afresh. So it's been, I think the last time I had a chemical service in my hair was in 94 maybe. Yeah, right, 94, 95. So it's 30 years. And it's really something. I had a big fibroid. Yeah, it seemed, some of these chemicals are, the lady suggested, the YouTuber suggested, it's done deliberately to cause diseases in Black people. It's primarily the people who have kinky hair or people of a particular race, uh, then a developer of a product it gets very, it's targeting that genetics, and they could be doing things and putting things in it to cause you harm. Isn't that something? It attacked your uterus, your reproduction organs. Yeah. Where do a lot of Black people live? In third world nations. And they're created. And I think the hair relaxer was created by a Black person. Yeah, in America, I think. Isn't that something? Yeah, so here you have a Black developer, hair developer, and causing harm to its user. And yeah, I had a giant fibroid. Yeah. Um, but not everybody, not just people who relax their hair get fibroids. I know people who have straight hair. Um, they were a person of color. They were Hawaiian, and she had a giant fibroid too, a big one. She was a big lady too. She was humongous. But yeah, you notice that certain people get certain conditions. And I wonder whether it is a way of ethnic cleansing. But, they make people of color, Black people in particular, to hate themselves, to try to emulate white people. Even bleaching their skin, even skin bleaching can cause cancer too. So they want to give you fibroids, they want to give you skin cancer, all these things, because they don't like you. Because you are the first human on this planet. And they want to get rid of you and do terraforming on this planet. But they first have to remove you from this planet and then rearrange terraforming the planet to make it suitable for the new creatures that are on planet Earth. Yeah. So what I learned with this, learn to love yourself. Learn to love you what God gave you. God gave you curly hair. Embrace it. Make your own products. Make your own products. Why are we poor in the third world? We don't make products designed for our needs. And you rely on uh, foreigners to design things for you because you don't value yourself. You don't value yourself. Make products designed for your needs, for your edification of personal wellness. Yeah, you better do that. You better do that. Yeah. If you're not well, you're going to be in the poorhouse. If you're not well, you're not creating your own products. You are making your enemy rich. That's another reason why we are poor in the third world. We make our enemies rich because we don't create products for ourselves and we rely on outsiders to do it. And we're getting things like a lot of these people who get their hair braided. Yeah, I see it all over the place. These synthetic hair or they chemically treated hair, and it's against your scalp, and your hair is probably absorbing those chemicals. Oh, God have mercy. You don't think that they're putting stuff in their hair? Don't you wonder why you're getting certain diseases? Hello? Hello, people. Are you using those nasty products? Are you? Are you? Are you using those synthetic things on your hair? You better think twice. What's happening to your body? What is happening to you? Make products designed for your personal needs, and you will probably be a wealthier person. At least you won't be making your enemies rich. Yeah, that's another problem. Yeah, we are poor in the third world because we make our enemies rich. Let's stop this behavior, okay? Yeah. Oh, sanitary napkins. That's another big one. Uh, I yeah, the product talked about that these feminine hygiene products is causing also uh, harm to us. You have that thing against your body, that feminine, napkin or whatever. What did they put in that pad? What are they? Who designed it? Who designed that pad? Did a man design that pad? Hello? Hello. Yeah, a lot of these men make products for women. Stop that, women. Develop your own product. What does this man know about menstruation? How could he understand that need? Because it's something he doesn't use. You better create your own products, and you know this also. Women are usually poorer than men because they have men make products for them. A lot of these men design the bras, design the shoes. They make pointer shoes. Have them wear those pointer shoes and see how they feel. They don't respect you. They create feminine hygiene. Remember at one point the feminine hygiene products, the especially the white girls were getting toxic shock syndrome because they weren't changing their tampons enough, and it was killing them. Oh yes. Yeah, you better make your own feminine hygiene products. You better make your own products. Why are we getting all these conditions? What are they putting in the products? We're allowing men to make products for women. Who's wealthier, the men or the women? Why are we poor in the third world? Because we let men make our own feminine hygiene products. Wow. Wow. You want to be wealthy women? Make your own products, your feminine hygiene products, and sell it to other women. Okay? Design your own clothes. Don't have these men design clothes because they're the misogynists. They create things to cause you pain, right? If you remember one time they designed a corset for women, do you know a lot of women fainted? You think that's loving somebody, creating something to make, make the woman faint? Hello? I'm sorry, it's not funny, but you really start thinking about it. Why are we poor in the third world? Why are women poor? Because we don't control our own lives. We allow men to do it all for us. You better learn how to do what men know how to do. You better learn what men know how to do. Learn how to build your own house. Learn how to repair your own car. Be the designer of cars for your needs. Hey, design your kitchen. You have some dude designing your house. He's not even in the house all day. You're in the house all day. You might have a job outside of the house and a job inside the house. But primarily, you're in charge of what goes on inside the house, yet you didn't design it. And I see a lot of houses are not designed by women. And it looks like it's designed by someone who doesn't know a damn thing about home lifestyle. Get that? Why are we poor in the third world? And it affects a lot of women. Oh God have mercy. Yeah. Yeah. Take more control over your life, people. Make Take more control over your life, and women too, especially. You have other people control your life. And you know what else? Why we poor in the third world? I'm on the roll right now. I'm on the roll right now. Why are we poor in the third world? Because we don't have our own religion. We don't have our own religion. We follow other people's religion. We follow other people's religion. Why are women in particular poor in the third world? Because we follow the religion of people who preach that women are cursed. So go figure. Why are women poor? Because the Bible, I wasn't supposed to say that word, because you have certain religions that teach that the woman is cursed, that she's bad and dirty. So are you going to feel, if God says that you're dirty, who are you going to believe, right? You know, have a religion that teaches that you are clean. Create your own religion, third world. Create your own religion, third world, that you are clean, that you are loved by God, and that you are priceless. Tell me any religion that preaches, that teaches that the woman is valuable and is intelligent and is worthy. Yeah, your religion is a big part of it. Why? You are poor in the third world. You don't follow your own natural religion, but a foreign religion. And they teach you that your own natural lifestyle is evil. You better reconsider the faith that you believe in. And if it doesn't support you as a woman or you as a so called third world person, you may need to reevaluate this faith system that you attend to. So, I think I said enough already. I said I've been on for 1 hour and 25 minutes. I think I'm glad I'm doing this live stream. I think this is my second or third video that I put up today. And I think it's very valuable. You know, um, we I am no expert, but I have experiences, and that's what I'm sharing right now. And I am not perfect, but may I be perfect for myself, and may I learn to manage what I have. Like they said, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. What are you keeping in your life? Keep what is valuable to you. And I think that is something very important to live by. I thank you for the opportunity to share this with you. And until next time, okay? Peace, love, joy, and harmony to the listener of this live stream. Take care and enjoy your day. Bye bye.